Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Football Manager 2020 Zero to Hero series. This is episode number 2. Last time we put out an advert trying to get a physio, but because our reputation is literally A1, we have not been able to secure anyone's attempt at joining us. So not a single applicant. So we're gonna continue the advert and see if we can find somebody. And speaking of advertisements, since we haven't been able to get anybody there, medical staff, let's go ahead and open the doorway to coaching staff as well. I need an assistant coach, head of youth development, and a couple coaches, general, goalkeeping, or fitness. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to go with an advertisement for an assistant coach first off. And we'll see if we can get something there as well. So search starts. In the meantime, we've still only played one game. Our game actually got pushed back by a week and a half. Our next match is against Carlisle City. I'm going to speed things up. However, I'm not going to skip past that one just yet. We're going to take just a few days. And I want to see what happens with that game, but we're not going to watch that game. We are at home to Carlisle City. And I cannot believe how much we improved after just a month. That was crazy. The level of development within this team. You know it's going to slow down, though. Like, it's definitely going to slow down. There's one journalist expected talking about playing with the rivals. Okay. 4-4-2. Sure, our first press conference. Let's see. Can we have an insight on how you might approach the game? Can't afford to defend properly. It's always a nice moment, local bragging rights. Trying to keep them focused. Don't be silly. That wouldn't be the same without matches like this. A chance players could crack. Do you have any worries? This is a lot of questions. For a reputation level 1 coach and team. For the match, stick to the plan. First press conference, and what do they go with? Hoping to avoid nerves. By the way, we are slowly getting more familiar with the tactic. That's got to be helping. We're up to a 7.25 rating now, largely coming from what we've got going on here. Now, after just a month, I don't think anything would... Okay, things have changed. Club attendance now a 3. So we are seeing a little bit of development. We've got a little bit of a bank balance. Everything else, of course, unchanged, but that's a start. That's a start, okay. And of course the team has been developing quite rapidly. And you can already see some of it's tapering off, isn't it? Well, I don't know. It's been 2 more weeks, hasn't it? So we got some initial ratings almost immediately. And then now things have settled off for a lot of guys, though Neil Curry is now a 3. Not sure how he's better than anybody else from the looks of it. But there you go. That's a little different. So it makes you wonder if the facilities were just so good that you get kind of that instant rebound off the bottom. But then from there, it's going to come down to, coaching and other factors, the players' work rate, things like that, on whether they continue to develop. Could be. Let's go ahead and go on vacation for 1 day. And we'll see what happens in that rivalry game. We'll take a look at it. And then we'll kind of speed forward through a good chunk of this season. There's no reason to sit and wait and see what's going to happen. Because it will, even if they do continue to develop rapidly and somehow get us out of the 10th tier right off the bat in the first year, I don't see that happening. But if it does, even if it does, we still have a long, long ways to go from moving up, and it's going to take some youth intakes and players developing there as well. So we're going to get Amesbury Town for the Vase, FA Vase, which is like the non-league trophy. We lost 2-1. So we lost 2-1 here. But that's something. You can see there's lots of matches being rearranged. They go top of the league with the win. Bitter rivals. A crowd of 11! Woo! Our biggest crowd yet. That's our record crowd. 11 people came to watch. It was like a whole team of couch potatoes watching. Well, maybe not a whole team, but a side that sees the pitch. 11. And we do get our first ever goal for the team. It only took us 2 matches. We had 4 shots, 2 on target. It came in garbage time when we were down 2-0. We salvaged a goal. But what a boost it is. Craig Bain's cross. Off the bench in the 79th minute. Gets himself a 7.3 rating for the effort. Nice. All right. Well, we're off to the races now, aren't we? No, not really. We're in 18th. We have 0 points, but we're only a -2. We've only played a couple matches, so we'll catch up in that regards a little bit. But, yeah, youngest ever goal scorer. What is he? 16 years and 62 days. It's a division record. It's a team record, too, because, it's our youngest, our oldest, our highest scorer, our lowest scorer. He's like everything. He's everything in the records department at the moment. Is he an instant legend? Well, to 11 people, maybe he is. People actually paid to watch these guys play the sport. Pretty crazy. Under 18s. All right, well, we are going to move forward in time now. Let's start with 2 weeks. We'll move forward 2 weeks, and we'll see how things are when we come back. Will we have points? A draw. As we prepare to leave August behind and head into September, our FA Vase trophy is against a higher division. Amesbury Town is in the Wessex League Premier Division. Not entirely sure what tier they are in, but they are a 133 chance, while we've got 50-1 odds against us. We did, however, in our last league game, score a point for the very first time, and we're actually not even in last place. With a single draw, a 0-0 draw against Chester Leigh Street. Interesting name there. Of course, they've only had one win themselves, plus the draw with us, so they're not looking great. But we are actually looking better than a couple of the bottom teams. No, we are not looking that competitive, but we are getting better. We are getting better. There is some improvement. You can now see like Aaron Cross, who actually I just gave a full-time contract to. He just turned 17 a few days ago. You can see he now has some 7s and is still improving. All of his technical attributes at 6 with corners at 7. So we are definitely seeing some improvement out there. The one who's not really improving, Courtney, he's still got some 1s, and a lot of that's coming down to the fact that he's already 28 years of age. So our young players are developing pretty rapidly and will be the core of this team going forward, along with whoever comes into the youth system that should be starting out a bit better. But some of that will depend on their playing ability. But with level 20 youth facilities and youth recruiting, we should at least have 1 or 2 high-quality players coming in. But this Amesbury Town match is going to be ugly. As we hit the end of the transfer window, nobody has made any moves in the league whatsoever. And in the Premier League, it's Partey to Man City from Atletico Madrid for 37 million, and De La Feu to Manchester United for 35.5. H. Swain, there's a new one on the list. Look at that, morale's even up. Now, there are some guys that are struggling to train, and you can see we've kind of leveled off. We were up to 7.24, it's at 7.1 now. I can't really criticize anyone. I am so bad at motivating that I can't criticize. It has no positive effect at all. They instantly just talk back. There's just no level of respect. But here's where we're definitely making some progress. Our tactic. We're getting pretty good at it. And speaking of our tactic, I think now that we are improving a little bit, wow, look at those relationships starting to build among the players. We're going to make one little change. We're going to go from very defensive to just defensive. First change to the tactic. Still going to park the bus, though. Bad time for that, though. Really. Really bad time. Let's go on holiday for a couple days and we'll see the damage. Biggest mismatch of the season, apparently. According to the media predictions. This could be a relatively ugly scoreline. But this is definitely not the team we were just shy of 2 months ago. I love that, by the way. I mean, I knew we would improve. I knew we'd get there. I knew that eventually we'd be a team that could climb the ladder and get into the Premier League. The perfect facilities, along with a few assurances, but especially the facilities, right? It would eventually get the job done. It'll happen. We do take defeat 2-1. I thought they were supposed to slaughter us. Adam Wilde scored in the first minute. Adam Wilde scored in the first minute of the game. Ends up with a 7.9 rating. And overall, really not that bad. We did have a couple guys on there that shouldn't have been playing, though. I just noticed. It took till the 83rd minute before they got the winning goal. So, no, they didn't completely dominate us. We did get $225 in the loss. So there's something. Oh, 6 games without a win. But we did get a draw. And Wild quickest off the mark. That was impressive. Balance going the wrong way this month. And will for a while, but we've got a balance to keep our head above water for a while. Hey, there you go. I am beginning to develop as well. A 2 in attacking and defending coaching, tactical, technical, and mental coaching. And on the mental side, determination, player, youngster knowledge, and then man management and motivating, both at 2s now. So we're learning. We're learning. We are coming along. We are getting there as a coach. Where we're getting, well, we're getting off the mark. That's all you can say, because we have not done anything else. We're gonna go on vacation again. Actually, you know what? Not yet. I have not heard anything back on the assistant coach advert that we had out. It's still out. Still hoping to get something back in that one. So, yeah, it's not that bad. Income, expenditure, we lost nearly $1,000, which means we're only going to make it about 6 months. Got a handful of guys on the influential players list. And leadership support. My reputation is quite low. I didn't change the reputation of my players, so that's kind of the key thing on that one. Team cohesion is very poor. Locker room atmosphere is average. all things considered, what we started with, not bad. Not bad. Now we're starting to get progress here. Current ability, Darren White, up to a 5. It's kind of a relative number, isn't it, this current ability? Because I haven't seen much change. You may be hearing in the distant background the cries of a young child. No, it is not your imagination. No, it is not your neighbor or your own child. My wife and I own a daycare that we run out of the first floor of our house. She's with kids full-time. I help her out part-time and handle the business side of things. I was a middle school and high school teacher for 10 years, and there you have it. I still coach at the school that I last worked at as a teacher before moving on to this new career. I do have a little bit of soundproofing, but it is not perfect as of yet. If you're new to the channel, you may have noticed that it is still a small channel, and I'm actually still below the compensation threshold, so I've not earned even a penny for this hobby of mine as of yet, though I am drawing rather close to that point. 1,000 subscribers is the last checkbox that I need to check off, and getting rather close to that mark. All the other boxes have been checked a long time ago, actually. There are quite a few requirements that YouTube holds for that. Eventually, there will be better soundproofing than there is now, but it's not a perfect science. Alright, well, I'm not getting any news right now. Regarding the vacancy. Oh, nope, there it is. Okay, we've left it running, but yeah, three weeks and nobody wants it. The main reason for that is we have a reputation of one, so anyone that has any amount of dignity, no matter how small it is, their dignity is more than, 1. So it looks like this year we very well could be all alone as the only staff member, because I'm not finding anyone at this point who is willing to step up. But even with the tiny improvement that I've had, you can see coaching team comparison, I'm already pushing average for the league, and that's pretty sad. The highest is a 5 in any category. I'm not there yet, but maybe eventually. Still hanging out at the bottom with just the 1, but I'm gonna let a little bit of time go by. We're gonna push forward. We're there at the bottom of the league. It looks like we're capable of grabbing the occasional points. Can we get a win? Let's go ahead and push forward like 3 more weeks. So after 7 losses to open the season, the team finally claimed its first victory. 54% of the possession against Brighton and Crawcrook Albion. Now, of course, they were 19th in the league while we were 18th, so they had 1 point like we did, and we get the win, albeit on the road. Colin Herbert gets the goal in the 79th minute to break the tie and earn the club its very first victory. So you can see they stay on 1 point. We now have 4. Wellington has no points, though goal differentials aren't terrible. Carlisle City, our quote-unquote bitter rival, and actually we do treat them like a bitter rival, lead the way. So a little unfortunate that they are there, but I don't mind necessarily because we could then see them down the road as we move up and out of the 10th tier into the 9th tier possibly. The last games were close. We lost 1-0 to Brandon on the road. Sunderland West End was at home and we lost 3-1, and that's actually the worst defeat we've had all season long. So the biggest defeat was 2 goals. That's not bad at all. Team tactic, boy, those facilities really making a difference. Coach not helping it too much though. I mean, it's taken 3 months almost to learn the tactic, but they're getting there. And we're a little less defensive than we were before, and it's starting to pay off for us. Still no response to any of our adverts, and I'm not sure we're going to get anyone this season that is in need, but we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying. The reputation, I think, as far as I know, only changes each season. So hopefully next season we'll pick up some reputation points, and that will make a difference. Yeah, because the reputation is still a 1. Alright, well, we've reached the end of September. We finally got a win. We're making some progress. We are definitely making some progress. So let's push forward another chunk. We're going to go a little further this time, and we'll see after about 5 weeks. Yeah, we'll see 5 weeks, and see if that first victory was a fluke, if we really are still at the very, very bottom of the league, or is there some hope yet as the team does continue to develop? Yes, it does. Neil Curry a 5 now. Darren White already there. Aaron Cross a 4. But we are getting some development. Slowly but surely. Adam Wilde has 3 goals now, and they still have him as a 1 on current ability. Oh yeah, he doesn't seem to be developing at all really at the moment. Maybe it's time for Connor Courtney is the other striker. No. Craig Baines-Cross. Maybe it's time to get him in. He is developing a bit better. Maybe it's time to move him into the starting lineup. Well, let's give it 6 weeks and see where we're at, and then we'll go from there. He does have a 6.83 average rating. Adam Wilde's a 6.84. Connor Courtney just a 6.66. So if those are any indication. Goalkeeper-wise, Williamson has had all of the time so far. How's McDermott doing? He's not playing. And in some ways he's developed, in some ways he hasn't. But I think the youth probably have it. Well, Williamson's only 19, but they're both 1s at the moment. With just 1 draw in the last several games, we have slipped to last place, just 5 points on the season now, and we've also taken our worst defeats, including an 8-2 loss at home not so long ago. So things have been a bit of a struggle here of late, and most of that is down to morale, because I think the team is definitely improving. Neil Curry, seeing some solid 7s in there. You can see he's up to a 9 on ability. Darren White at a 7. Aaron Cross still improving. We're still seeing some of these guys not going anywhere, like Connor Courtney. So I do think it's time that we start swapping out some of the players and giving a chance to some of the younger guys. I've also had a number of, well, still just the 1 injury, and actually we're back from that, aren't we? Yeah. Phil Payne is back from his injury. So we'll see about swapping that out. In terms of average rating, Craig Baines-Cross has been the best, but just 6 appearances off the bench for him. I think that is now enough to give him a nod. A nod as the striker. Well, let's give him a chance. Adam Wild's been terrible. 5.98. He's dropped to a 6.52. So let's go ahead and swap those two out. Baines-Cross is going to take over at the front, and then haven't really gotten anything out of any of these guys, but let's get Phil Payne back in here and go from there. But you can see the morale is very low. Neil Curry, the only one that's not awful, and that's because I just praised him for training well. So we are starting to live up to that really poor showing. But there's 2 things I want to do. 1, I want to have a team meeting, and 2, I think it's time we start learning another tactic because the familiarity is really good with this one now. So eventually, as we get better, and if we can improve the morale, we're going to want to know something besides just this. So we're going to create a new tactic, but we're going to stay with that one. We're just going to start training another one. So instead of park the bus, we're going to go for a direct counter attack. And we're going to stick with the same formation that we have now. So that's going to be, let's see, 4-2-1-3, yeah. And I think we still want to be cautious or defensive. We'll go defensive with it. So now we have 2 tactics that we're training, but of course we'll stick with the park the bus as our primary. So we can get that one up. And actually, it's not that bad. Well, it is. Okay, that's going to take a while to pick up. Okay, and the other thing, of course, was it is time for a team meeting. Because team cohesion, very poor. Locker room atmosphere, abysmal. And of course the leadership support, and that doesn't help. It's really hard to get much out of there isn't a suitable meeting to hold a team. Really? So I can't even hold a team meeting because their overall happiness at least is fairly content for most of them. Training, treatment, club, management, playing time, all of that's really good. But the morale is low. And I'd love to pick that up, which we're just not doing right now. But we'll have to deal accordingly. So it's now the 9th of November. We had a positive balance this month. That's nice. So we're kicking off well in that department. Nothing's changing elsewhere. And of course, we're still at the bottom of the league, so it's going to be a while before we pick that up. But 14 games played, a lot of seasons still to go. Can we continue to develop? Can we, well, maybe not get mid-table, but can we get off the bottom? I mean, I never expected us to get 5 points at the beginning. I really thought this first season would be 0 points and something like, minus 150, minus 200 goals by the end of the season. And we're doing a lot better than that, but we're not doing well. So we go back on vacation, and I'll see you back during the Christmas period. Finally able to hold a team meeting. Let's see if we can pick up morale a little bit here on Christmas Eve. Let's calmly say that I want to ensure our heads don't drop, and there you go. Everybody responds well to that one. Nice. And that does boost morale. Look at that. What an improvement within the team. Main tactic, training well. We'll see how the other tactic is doing. Still no responses. We'll keep the advert going, but it's been many, many months, and the advertisement is coming back with literally nothing but the finances. Yeah, we're okay in that department. Club vision, not worried about it. Yes, we are failing. We have an F. But it is okay. It is okay. That's not what we're here for. Not initially anyway. Let's see if there has been any change in the club details. Yes, there is. The club reputation is a 2. We have doubled our reputation since the start. We have tripled our attendance since the start. It's looking good. It's looking real. No, it's not looking good. A reputation of 2 out of a huge number is not a good reputation. Let's see here. In the competition, we managed to get 1 win and 1 draw here recently. We beat Bertley Town, our biggest win ever, 3-1. And we managed another draw with Easington Colliery. And it was not 0-0. It was 1-1. We're still a whopping minus 26. And we only have 9 points. And we are last place. And we have started to get distanced a little bit in that regard. So, no, it's not good. It is not good. But Carlisle City, out of the promotion zone. West Allotment, that's our next game though, so yeah, good luck in that one. They were the ones who beat us 8-2 last time we played. But morale is better. That could make a real impact going forward. And we're past halfway through the season. Let's see, how is the team doing? There is definitely some development coming. Neil Curry continues to grow and develop. You've got high 6s in a lot of categories now. 7s in about a quarter of his attributes, and he even has an 8. His concentration is an 8. Determination, aggression, not going anywhere, but he is developing. He is valued at $600. My guys were all valued at nothing a while ago, so are making progress. Peter Kelly, 12 appearances off the bench. Okay. But Craig Baines-Cross is still our top guy. He's now had 7 starts after his 6 appearances off the bench before. He's not developing rapidly, as I would have hoped. But he does have 3 goals. Adam Wilde finally got his 4th goal, and he's done that in twice the number of starts and the same number of bench appearances. So, and they've still got him as a 1. He's not developing at all. So we are seeing a number of players stagnate and not see any improvement towards their potentials. There's only a few players. And look, Curry, fairly professional, developing well. Darren White, lighthearted, doing well. These other guys are mostly easily discouraged. Connor Courtney, balanced. You would think he would do well, but he's 28. He's 28, so I can see why he is not developing, why he's just kind of sitting at all those 6s. It's definitely coming down to the youth players, and really it looks like just 2. Gage Swain, he's doing a little bit. Yeah, he's up to some 7s now. And Aaron Cross, the young one, he's balanced, so you'd think he'll improve, and he is a bit. Determination and aggression not changing for anybody. No, it is not. So that's a real factor in this first group. So guys that just, there's nothing you could do to train attributes that are locked in at 1. Which means we need a class of youth players coming up here at some point. The only player who has not played, Joey McDermott, our backup goalkeeper, Tempted to get him in there. How is Williamson? 22 starts, 6.55 rating, 6.56 in his last 5. And progressing a little bit. Decisions now a 7. What about McDermott? He is unambitious, but so is Williamson. So I don't think either one of them are going to develop really at all. But team cohesion, it's slowly getting better. Locker room atmosphere, still really poor. But believe it or not, I am happy with 2 wins and 3 draws through 21 games and just a minus 26 goal differential. That is more than I expected from this team. That's more points than I expected for the whole first season. I'm really halfway through it. I would expect next episode, I think we'll finish off this first season. But in that, we should have our youth intake somewhere in the not-so-distant future. And that's where we could begin to reshape this team. Because some of those players might come in better than what we have already. Some of those players might come with a massive potential compared to what we have now, considering our youth recruitment is a 20. So, time will go by, things will happen, and then we'll get into that next episode. But we should start seeing that intake, that outcome before too long. We have a positive balance, so we're going good on that front. I'm actually feeling pretty good about this, despite how bad it is. And now that the morale is improved, maybe, just maybe, we'll be a bit more competitive in the days and weeks to come. I'm a Decathlon Gamer. Be sure to hit that like button to help get this series a boost, get it going, at least for the first few episodes. Try to make a concerted effort to actually click that like button. And that's going to do it for this one. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.